Hello guys, welcome to Football Scout. Today we are going to explain Manchester City against Chelsea. That match was played in Etihad Stadium less than 72 hours from the last match played in Stamford Bridge. Chelsea lost 1-0 that match, and this was the time for revenge. But we are going to see a total different approach by the two teams. And we are going to see that Manchester City dominated Chelsea in each aspect. They started with a 4-2-4. It is a classic formation, and Guardiola likes to experiment with different shapes that fits better and keeps the opponent occupied in their own half. Meanwhile, Chelsea started to play with Christmas tree. I don't think that was the best solution seen by the tactical point of view, because Christmas tree, that 4-3-2-1, helps you defend better but has some risks. 5 changes for Manchester City since the last match they faced Chelsea. Ortega, Laporte, Gomez, Palmer and Alvarez were the new players and the new forces that contributed in the City domination against Chelsea. Meanwhile, Chelsea made some changes also. Chalobah, Humphreys, but also Mount and Gallagher, together with Hall, started from the first minute. Chelsea tried to nullify Manchester City's attacking maneuver, but this didn't work for several reasons. You can praise City all day, but we must say something about Chelsea also. One thing is to put players on the pitch, and another thing is to have execution of the tactics, build up a system that works and brings you goal and danger situations in the opponent's half. First, we're gonna see their shape on the pressure. Mount and Ziyech, together with Havertz, do high pressing, and they are often supported by Gallagher and Kovacic, with Jorginho staying behind. This worked in the first minutes, when City played with 3 defenders, Walker, Akanji, and of course Aymeric Laporte, with Gomez and Rodri staying in the midfield. But if you follow City, you're gonna be in big trouble if they change system. And you'll see that City understood that Chelsea has learned some lessons from the past match, and they changed things. City advances Walker and Bernardo Silva in the first minutes of the first half. They keep their shape 3-2-5. I think Chelsea's problems begin when Sergio Gomez and Cole Palmer, together with Phil Foden, combine in that left side. And Sergio Gomez is a classic left back. He keeps that position and combines with Palmer and Foden to create numerical domination in the left side. This was the turning point of the game. City became more dangerous in possession and changing positions and keeping that fluidity that characterizes them, gives Manchester City a special motivation to create attacks but also to score goals. But let's be honest, from the managerial point of view, City scored with a free kick with Mahrez, and the second goal was a penalty. These 2 goals were not a classic action. So this masks Chelsea's tactical problems, because you say, okay, I conceded twice, but one was a free kick and the second, of course, was a penalty. Chelsea in possession were poor. You're gonna see the 3 midfielders, Gallagher, Jorginho and Kovacic, try to help the defense by maintaining their positions, and you're gonna see often long balls to Kai Havertz and often Ziyech that drops deep to take the ball. First of all, you are predicted and you don't have passing points to create the first 2-3 passes that will allow you to search for new spaces and to see the pitch better and to create variations in the attack, to create that numerical domination that allows you to have a successful positive transition in the attack. You don't have any of this, and you are lacking quality in the build-up, but also you are lacking quality in positioning. If someone else is the manager of Chelsea, he's gonna think, well, I have to build something of my own. I have to build something for my team. We see that Chelsea need more options in the front. You're gonna see that they need not numbers, but they need passing points. Players need to know where to pass the ball. So Chelsea weren't able to understand the easy approachment that City had in the first half. First, they attack with Kyle Walker and Sergio Gomez acting as a midfielder. So these were the first 15 minutes of the game. Second 15 minutes of the game, we see Sergio Gomez acting as a left back and going up front. And the last 10 minutes of the game, we are going to see that both defenders, Kylie Walker and Sergio Gomez, are acting as wingers, and they create the domination that brought the third goal, a fantastic goal for Manchester City, and practically closed the game. This is the perfect scenario of the game. We see Koulibaly that recuperates the ball and he immediately passes to Havertz, but Havertz wrongs an easy pass. We can see that Chelsea dominates in numbers here, but they cannot turn it into a successful positive transition. Meanwhile, they get a counter and Alvarez risks to score the fourth goal. So this was the whole approachment of the game. In the beginning of the second half, we see exactly why the Christmas tree is failing to be adapted in a way that brings you success and brings you that behavior that allows you to balance the game a little bit. We see that Gallagher is defended by Sergio Gomez. Sergio Gomez acts as a left back. And this was exactly one of the reasons that the Christmas tree failed as a tactical approachment to compete with City and to bring that effort in the game for Chelsea players to be dangerous in the construction phase, but also while attacking. If you see that the opponent's left back, in this case Sergio Gomez, defends your midfielder Gallagher and they press in numbers, you switch things. You move to a 4-3-3. You make substitutions that bring you success. You make movements, you make exchanges and replacements that allow your team to be more dynamic, to make your team unpredictable and to make your team dangerous. We're gonna see that in the minute 46, Kovacic and Havertz leave place for Zakaria and Fofana. Later on, we're gonna see Jorginho replaced by Azpilicueta and Ziyech by Hutchinson. And in the minute 73, I think this was the only replacement that needed to be done and was a successful one because Chukwuemeka entered and Mount was out. Chukwuemeka played a brilliant game in the Premier League against City, so he had something to show in this game. I think if you are losing 3-0, you need to have a plan to be in the game and to risk your opponent and to put your opponent in pressure and to give your squad the needed motivation to attack and to create chances. If you don't have that plan, you'll be again in trouble. They conceded another goal with penalty. Mahrez scores a beautiful penalty and gives the deserved qualification to Manchester City. This wasn't only domination in numbers, in position, in tactical approachment, but also it was a domination in mentality. You have a plan, you create new varieties of your plan, you bring new chances for the game, you bring new players, you execute the plan, you are perfect in the third part of the pitch and you give your opponent no chance of following you. This was the match seen by the managerial point of view, deserved qualification for Manchester City. Still a lot to learn for Chelsea and a lot to improve for Chelsea. Stay tuned for other matches. Please subscribe to Football Scout.